Hi, viewers, and welcome to another episode of On the Farm, where we are vocal about everything local. On this episode of On the Farm, as we continue to put the spotlight on women in agriculture, we'll be speaking to a lady from a different spectrum of agriculture. But before we get into the discussion, we take a short break and be right back after this. Welcome back, viewers. I have with me a very important person that I see within society today. Someone who set the path for careers and life of persons and children on a whole. And I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and tell us what she does. Welcome to On the Farm.
Thank you so much. So my name is Shariska Rodriques, and I teach at the Charlestown Secondary School as well as the Navy Sixth Form College.
So, Miss Rodriguez, what do you teach and how long have you been teaching for?
I teach agricultural science, of course, and I've been teaching for over 17 years now.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
What excites you about teaching agriculture and where did it stem from?
Interestingly enough, that was the only science subject I did in high school because I did most business subjects. And, in school, you will choose a subject that you probably will find easy. And so I did agriculture, and I had several teachers that were really exciting. One of them I could remember vividly is Lindbergh Bell. He's actually the manager of the school farm in St. Kitts right now. And from there, I think what made me stick to it, because I never wanted to become a teacher at first, but what made me stick to it was the late Conrad Liebert. He encouraged me to come back into teaching, and I was like, as soon as I started it, I was like, this seemed like the place for me to be, because it was not my first choice, but I realized that I had a knack for teaching and imparting knowledge, and because agri was the subject I chose, I decided to continue into it. So I continued into teaching and then did my degree in agriculture.
You made mention that you choose subject that is easy. You're saying agriculture is easy?
The first time I tried it was easy, and then I think after I realized that I needed to know more about the subject, I realized its difficulty because it's not just agriculture alone. Mm-hmm. You have to know a little chemistry, yes. You have to know a little engineering, yes. You have to know a little plumbing, and that's one of the reasons why I did general agriculture, because it's not just about digging the soil and putting a seed in. It's a lot. Yes. It's a lot of science, it's a lot of business. It compasses of a lot of different disciplinaries. So,
correct.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because for me too, I had some experience in agriculture from a younger age, but I think my love for it grew and cemented from my agriculture teacher, Miss Natasha Daniel. Big up to my teacher. And that has allowed me to grow respect for teachers because of her, she was able to cemented that career path that I am today. And I could imagine how many persons would have reached a long way just by having fun teachers like yourself to help them with agriculture. Mm-hmm. But I want you to tell us, through your time, 17 years of teaching, what are some of the memorable moments that you would have had? I could imagine you have a lot, but tell us which one is your most memorable moment as a teacher.
I think what's memorable is when persons really see that they can, further in the field. I've had a few students, I wouldn't say too many, but I've had a few students who would have got scholarships, go off to the Earth University or University of the West Indies, or probably would have gone to CFBC. And in some of them right now are actually working in the department, and you actually see that they really want to continue, doing this subject. And I think that brings, a really, it warms my heart, because I think many of us, think that farming is a dead subject, but I know for sure that a lot of persons kind of fall back on farming when everything else fails. And I always tell my children that, you can't function without food. So you have to, even if it's just a little backyard garden, because I know everybody may not go into agriculture as a career, you can do something else, but once you have a little skill in terms of doing a little gardening, I encourage that, because I know everybody is not going to be an agriculturist per se, but I try to encourage that. And I realize that that's one of the things that was happening even through COVID. We were encouraging a lot of backyard farmers, and I do encourage my students to do that, even if they don't go off to study. So, and they get excited when they have to plant their stuff. Just recently I had some students, creating their own products and, labeling them and doing all these different things. And they really like to do that, taste each other's products, critique it. These are the things I try to do, and, make agriculture exciting, take them on field trips. And it starts from first and second form, because I'm actually the head of agriculture department at the high school. And I try to reach them from when they're younger. And the beautiful thing is that it's starting in primary school right now. And so you have a lot of children who are coming over excited about the subject. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. What are some of your challenges that you would have encountered?
I think my major challenge is the work itself. So because, of course, I mainly teach sexy subjects. And so, you have to, get SPAs from children and mark them and all of that. And also, I think the field itself, because I have to be the head, and then you still have other things to manage, because you have to teach them both the crop science and animal science. I can't do that all the time. So, I feel like the future looks bright, because it can't just be me alone. So I'm looking forward to many persons who are actually leaving college, to come back and, assist their long-time teacher to make, things fruitful, especially at the school. And so I think that's the major challenge, the consistency in production at the school, because I think it can go along a lot further than it is right now.
So students who already gone on, your teacher is asking you to please to come back and give us some help. Don't leave her behind. Okay, what a daily day in your class look like, or average day in your class look like?
Well, normally I would, come in as bubbly as ever. Not all the time, but most of the time, and, engage in discussion on whatever topic it may be. For sometimes, we go out in the field, whether it's in the shade house, at school, or if we're dealing with chickens, because we normally deal with broilers, we will go to Floyd Leibert's farm, and we'll, manage the chickens there. So that's, I would say, a normal class.
Okay, over your 17 years of experience, have you seen an increase or decrease in the number of students that are following through with agriculture? Because I know it's a compulsory, I think it's from first form up to second form.
Yes.
And then from third form, you would have to choose if you want to continue on with it up to fifth form. So have you seen a decrease or increase in the numbers?
Well, I would say this year, the students who would have chosen agriculture in third form, we have seen an increase.
Great.
And mainly because we shifted our approach to teaching. We normally, we have a textbook, and you probably would just teach from the textbook. But I recognize that the students wasn't gaining they weren't gaining appreciation for both aspects, the crop and the animal science. So what we did is that in first form, you learn about the crop production as well as a little business in crop production, and in second form you learn about animal production as well as business as relates to animals. And so when they get a understanding of both crops and animals, it will help them to make a decision in third form as to whether they will choose agri or not. And I think that the teachers, well, I know that the teachers who are teaching first and second form, they've been doing a really good job, because I can hear from them that the students are really excited. So I'm looking forward to the years to come to see, what will happen. But in the past, I've seen, even though the numbers would have been small, I've seen some of those students would have gone on to do agri in sixth form, because sixth form, that subject wasn't offered in sixth form before. It actually a syllabus when I came back from studying. And so looking forward to seeing, that consistency throughout. So, yeah.
You made mention from third form, then that is when they'll somewhat specialize.
Yes, and I will select the subjects that they want to do.
Okay, Miss Rodrigues, we're going to take a short break, catch our breath for a bit, and be right back.
Somos las raíces que nutren.
每一位狼师英雄都发挥着重要作用。
Nous devons nourrir le monde.
È giunto il momento di risollevarsi.
Together, we can make a difference.
To lives and communities everywhere.
Нам нужна устойчивая продовольственная система.
لأن مصيرنا واحد.
Welcome back, viewers, and we are continuing our conversation with an agriculture teacher from CSS, Miss Shariska Rodrigues. And behind of me, we're standing in a farm. I'm going to ask her to tell us what this farm is all about and how does she incorporate it with her teaching life.
Okay, so we're here at Goshen Farms, as we call it. It's actually the land that belongs to my church community. The church is called Legacy International, and our senior elder is Pastor Joseph Morton and Sister Wendy Morton. And so we basically, because we know we have the land, we utilize the land for agriculture. And so we are growing various crops here, and many times the persons within the community will come down at different times and help out with either fertilizing or weeding or planting, because we need a lot of persons to do those jobs. And we have like someone who will be here daily just to check on things and stuff like that. So yeah.
So you don't just teach, but you practice what you teach.
Yes, I try to.
Well, for you made mention of what persons would come down and do help with.
Yeah.
But what do you do here on the farm?
Well, I normally help out with the different tasks, and I also assist in managing in terms of making decisions as to what we're going to do. So it's not just me. We actually have a management team along with some other persons within our community, and we work out what it is that we're going to do, and make decisions as to moving forward on the piece of land.
So do you use this farm as a practice ground for your students?
Yes, actually, many times I've brought them here, whether to harvest sweet potatoes, or we would have harvest lettuce and sold them to some restaurants. I think, mainly for harvest. I think we've done some weeding, but mainly harvesting. I think I've brought them over for that, and just to let them see, various crops and how they grow, because sometimes children really don't know.
I do.
So we've done a lot of that.
It's always
a lot of harvesting.
It's always good to marry the practical with the theory aspect of it as well.
Definitely.
Okay, what are some of the crops that you guys have been growing here or are growing currently?
Well, currently we are growing cantaloupe and honeydew. That became a really big seller. The honeydew became a big seller last year. And we also have some corn and lettuce. I think we just reaped some sweet potatoes a few weeks ago. And I think that's what we started off, going with sweet potatoes, and we did hot peppers earlier, years back. And we've done some other fruit crops like sweet peppers and stuff like that. But mainly we have some cantaloupe, honeydew, corn, and lettuce. And of course we have some trees, banana trees growing up, stuff like that, yeah. So we hopeful, to expand in the future, but that's what we're doing right now.
Kudos to the church for doing this.
Yeah.
It shows that it's not just farming on commercial scale or backyard farming, but churches also get involved in farming, so that is good. And I guess it could probably be another source of income for the church as well, which is wonderful. Ms. Rodrigues, just to wrap up, is there any advice or encouragement would you give to students enrolling in agriculture, or other persons who are thinking on enrolling in agriculture, and for young women especially, because we are still highlighting women in agriculture, to be more a part of agriculture going forward?
Well, I would encourage, my students to continue on the journey. I think, many of them, are enthusiastic about it. And so, when you see opportunities, grab a hold of them. And of course, I'm always willing to give recommendations, for my students. And so I just want to encourage them, take all the opportunities that are there, all the scholarships that are available, take them and run with them and go and get your education for free.
I endorse that. I do endorse that, for free. Okay, Ms. Rodrigues, thank you for being on the farm with us.
You're welcome.
And please continue doing the great work that you're doing as a teacher. And thank you personally for already setting the path, and as you continue to set the path for persons, so we can get more young people in agriculture and pursue it as a career going forward.
No problem.
All right, then, have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, bye. And there you have it, viewers, another episode of On the Farm, where we are vocal about everything local. Just to recap this episode, we spoke to Mrs. Rodrigues, who is an agriculture teacher at CSS. And I personally would like to say thank you to her for all the work that she has been putting, building the foundation for our children of this society, and encouraging more persons to be a part of agriculture. But before I end the show, I would like to leave some encouragement to the queens that are viewing at the moment. And I would like to say, encourage yourself, believe in yourself, love yourself, and never doubt yourself. And in the words of Michelle Obama, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. I am Shakima Hanley, and this has been On the Farm. Bye until next time.